Oh shit, I didn't even realize I was streaming already. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian as a Weirdo. I really need to finish this package today, and meant to finish it yesterday, just didn't happen. So I'm going to be working on a non-binary striped packer that I've already started. So let's just get this show on the road and get this sucker done. So here is the bottom of the packer. Excuse me. Hello, welcome in. Happy that you're here. Okay, so hey Crystal, welcome in. I got to see my Chicago boys last night. It was so fun, but my feet hurt so much because I was standing the whole set that they did, and then for part of like the opening acts. And it was super fun. But whoa. My agoraphobia was like on 10, and then like the minute they started playing, I just like didn't stop dancing. I didn't stop singing. My voice is like, no, stop talking. But tis how it is. It was a super fun show. They always bring the pyrotechnics, which I'm a sucker for pyrotechnics. Give me fire, and I'm super into it. It just makes everything more fun. But what they did this time, which I don't believe they've done, it was pretty packed, yeah. And but they also did like controlled fireworks, and with all the fireworks, there was just like huge boom, and because we were in like a stadium, it like it just was so loud, and it just like echoed, and so it was like every time they did it, I was like, I'm gonna go deaf. Yeah, it's the first time I've seen a concert since I went and saw either Fall Out Boy or Panic at the Disco. And yeah, it's been a minute for me as well. But it was super worth it. Yeah. I have a lot of clips. If you want to see like I basically recorded the start of every song, and then so it's like there are a bunch of short clips because I knew that like once the song got rolling, I was just gonna lose my shit. And I hate when you record a video of a concert and then you like hear your voice. Um, uh, and then you're like, wow, I'm tone deaf. But it was super fun, and I pretty consistently lose my shit at Fall Out Boy concerts. Um, so I'm gonna backtrack a stitch because I'm gonna change colors, and we're just gonna, yeah, I love just like fucking jamming along. I was dancing, I was singing. I don't have a great singing voice, especially since I moved um, to taking testosterone, because it just, I think it like maybe like contracted um, my vocal cords, and so it just changed it. But yeah, it was super fun, and it's what's really funny is like, so like obviously like Fall Out Boy is from Chicago, right? But um, now all of them live in LA. And so they did this thing at the beginning where they did like blew out like fake snow, and they're like, we brought the snow with us. And I'm like, I know for a fact you live in LA and you did not get snow. So I don't know what you're like, you might be from Chicago, but like you don't live there now. And so I was just like, okay. So I was like, you brought the snow from LA? Okay, sure. Okay, Queen. But I had a good time. I ended up doing like, so I did my eyes on camera, and then I did the rest of my face makeup once we got closer to leaving time. And then I just was like, I feel like it was like too. it just wasn't fitting the vibe of like my outfit or what I wanted to do. So I removed all my face makeup except for my eye makeup, and then I put some like facial hair like kind of makeup on, and that was super fun. I'm trying to find the end of this yarn. That's so annoying. I'm getting better at like adding little hair clips to my yarn so that it doesn't unravel and become like a nightmare, but it still happens. But yeah, it was super fun. So there were three openers, um, and I didn't know the other two. The first band was called like The Games We Play, and the singer had an amazing voice, but the songwriting was like, and then the second band I just hated completely. um, and then the third band was Jimmy World, which like I I kind of forget how many hits they've had. Um, so it I was able to like sing along with like more than I expected to to jam out with, um, which was fun. Um, and they did great. Like they did a great job, and it was super fun. Um, what I found is like the songs that weren't popular, they all kind of sounded the same, and then the popular songs were just like totally different. And I was like, this is interesting. Um, and um, but yeah, they did a great job, put on a great set, and then Fall Out Boy came out, and I was like, y'all. Um, but yeah, the middle, but then there was like the sweetness, and then there were all these other songs, and I didn't realize because I listened to like Fall Out Boy on my it like it was not only like the same chord progressions probably, but also like just the style, the vibe. Like I could not distinguish some songs from the others. Like I was like, have you already heard this song 4 times? I don't. So it just was like, okay, they have like their comfort zone, which is like this, and then they like occasionally go outside of their comfort zone and put out something that becomes really popular. Um, but they sounded great. Um, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I mean, like I think the second band, not only were they not great, but their sound mixing was off, which made the band a lot louder than the vocalist. And so the vocalist, even though he was like screaming, like screamo, like it kind of like sunk in like a weird place where it's just like I I don't I'm not feeling this. Um, but it was still a lot of fun, and I had a great time at the concert. Had like a couple like minor freakouts just with like the agoraphobia situation, crowds, stuff. Also, I like when I am at a concert, if I know the band and I love the band, I am screaming and I am dancing. Even if it's not necessarily a dance song, I will dance to it, or I'm headbanging, or I'm fucking throwing up the horns. And I need a little bit of room, and like none of these stadiums are ever like set up where you actually have room. So Mel was behind me in like respect to the stage, and so I was like sometimes I was like falling back on her or like stepping on her. I did get a sweatshirt, which I was super happy with, because the um the logo for the album uh, is like honestly like perfect for me and my personality. I actually want to get this like tattooed. Um, me try to find the logo. And as you probably know, I really like weird smileys and stuff like that. But I just felt like this like encapsulated my. I'm just gonna post a link. And so like it's just like the general logo. Sometimes it's cleaned up a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit more distressed. But this like I just love it because it's like kind of perfect for like the bipolar and stuff like that, which I feel like Fall Out Boy always like connects with. But this is just like a random image of it. But I got a sweater, like a hoodie, that had this smiley on the front, and then on the back, I think it said the name of the tour in like bubble letters, like almost like SpongeBob esque, like bubble letters. Not only were they like rounded, but they had like highlights and stuff that looked like bubbles. Which was yeah, of course. I need to remove that from Nightbot. Let me do that. Because I'm talking about serious topics every time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that. And then I need to like okay, we're gonna try some like updates with Nightbot because Nightbot's just terrible. It's amazing. Nightbot. It's like every time I like actually decide to talk about something serious, Nightbot is like keep it cute, and I'm like, Nightbot, read the room. And then also I'm like, I wrote that. I wrote that. Oops. But like it's hard for me to not talk about serious topics because that's just who I am as a person. Um but yeah, it was really fun. It was nice to get out. Also, it's like there's something to be said about like going to a place and not feeling like a freak of nature because you have like colored hair or a lot of read the room. I'm still hey Lydia. Um so let me count real quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a decrease. Okay, right now we're doing another decrease. Like for a second it seemed like a good idea and it's never once worked in my favor. I did like so like some people are not into astrology and stuff like that. That's totally fine. I'm not pushing that on anyone. But but what was interesting when someone who was really really proficient at reading birth charts, they said something to the effect of you have a great way of like communicating serious ideas in a way that like not a lot of people can, and like talking about serious subjects. And I was like, I kind of feel like I do. Like I feel like that's kind of my superpower is to be able to talk about serious issues but keep it like approachable and light enough where like we can have a conversation about it. And I was like, that's interesting. Like that's a no one has ever read my birth chart and been like and taken that information away from it. So I thought it was really cool. Doing okay. My voice is like borderline gone. It might just completely shut off. Who knows? Because I went to my concert last night and I was screaming. Now, I will say that even though I took off all my face makeup and only had my eye makeup on, I I was potentially the most glam person there because like I had like just this dramatic eye makeup, and then I also had like mustache and like goatee like hair drawn on, um, and like I could tell that like there was that difference there, but I still didn't feel like a freak. Like it felt like a very welcoming community, which the emo pop punk community isn't always known for, if we're being honest. But like it just felt like I was like, okay, this is a place where I can just totally be myself and just go for it. Like to not be the only person within line of sight with like green or like brightly colored hair was like really cool. Cause like I live in a smaller town in the suburbs of Raleigh, and whenever I go to the gas station or Walmart, like I'm kind of singled out as like the only person who looks like this, and then people are trying to figure out my gender, and they're like, "Ah," you know. Okay, I totally have lost track of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why do I keep on losing my decrease? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And like the thing is, I generally don't set out with the goal of like, hey, I'm going to talk about a serious subject. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I just like for me, like it's such an integral part of my life that like it just doesn't make sense for me to avoid the topic completely. And some people are very private and that's totally fine. But for me, I just want to promote like conversations about mental health and serious issues. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, being live on your phone is definitely a challenge. The few times I've done it, I'm like, why? Why am I doing that? I need a new laptop. Every time I start it up, it sounds like a plane engine is starting. But that's so much money that I just don't have right now. So, and it's not super high on the priority list for me. Like, if you're used to like the audio of just kind of like the sound of my computer, which I do have a fan, which I'm just plugging in now. Um, I do have a fan that like does make it a little bit louder, but also makes it quieter at the same time. Um, it it helps keep my laptop from overheating and exploding into flames. I will say this Fall Out Boy concert in particular had the most pyrotechnics that I've ever seen in a Fall Out Boy concert. And I've been to 3 concerts and I've also seen a lot of videos of other live concerts that they've done. And like they just keep upping the ante of like fireworks and pyrotechnics, which gets me so stoked. Like if I'm going to a concert and they have pyrotechnics, it just boom. It's so fun. But like wow, those fireworks were deafening. And like, of course, like I'm used to the pyrotechnics from Fall Out Boy, but I wasn't so much used to the fireworks, and especially not in an enclosed space. And like, Mel gets really bad migraines, and so like, not only like the sound and like the screaming and all of that, but then there would be like these really big booms, and it was like she left, and she was like, I can't really hear anymore. And like there were people who like kids who came to watch the show that actually had to leave because they were jumping, and like most of the audience would jump when there was like a big boom, which might be a sign to maybe like dial it back a little bit. I don't know. I'm not Fall Out Boy's manager, believe it or not, so I'm not going to tell them what to do, but there were a lot of people, and especially kids, who would jump and get scared every time. She's still dealing with a migraine, but uh, her hearing has mostly come back, um, but like, I think she's still migraining pretty bad, unfortunately. So I was like, we're gonna have a talk today because I did have like a couple, well, one particularly bad, like agoraphobia freak out, and then like Mel has her own problems with crowds. And so like I was like, let's just like talk about this like when you're ready, because like I want to like be able to make sure that like you are comfortable, um, because like I like even though I want to see the show, like your health and safety is more important to me. Um, so I'm working on a packer. This is in the non-binary stripe, and I needed to get it done a little while ago, but just being depressed and doing the same old pattern that I've done a million times hasn't been my priority. I worked on the doll quite a bit, kind of at a point where like it's so recognizable that I can't really work on it on camera. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to do hands. I need to watch like a doll tutorial, um, so I can figure out how to do hands properly because they're intimidating. I mean, I can't draw hands. The idea of making hands, even if I like did just kind of like mitten shapes and then like embroidery floss the fingers, I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna have space because like they're gonna be on such like a micro level that I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is my last order for a little while, and then I'm gonna focus more on doing Pride stuff. Because even if I don't end up doing a booth at Pride, I still want to have a lot of Pride stuff to be able to sell on my Etsy. Also, I added to the links in my description below, so if you want to watch my TikToks, primarily I talk about mental health and like my personal like path into like mental health care. Um, uh, but like uh, but I added my TikTok, I added my Etsy, and then I also have 2 patterns up on Ribblr now. Depend on the space you have. Exactly. And I remember one time, did I throw it out? One time I tried to make, this was early on in my crochet, but not as early as you would think. And I tried to make a hand that would like, you could like pin it down to do like a middle finger or like the I love you, like um, sign or like the horns or something. And this is what it ended up as, which is so bad. It looks like a, a gross chicken tender or something. It's so bad. And like, it's so awful. I just was like, I don't care how I'm gonna, like, how did the pinky end up so small? And then there's this like fat middle finger. It's like all the proportions are terrible. I really want to see your blanket, Lydia. Is it the one with the rainbow stripe, um, or the favorite stripe from Red Heart Super Saver? Okay, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go down a hook size for the hand. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, because so in this pattern, I started with one hook size. I started with a 2.75, and then I couldn't find any of the hooks, and it actually was good that it worked out that way. So I ended up going down to a 2.25, which was perfect. I'm using one weight cotton. But like, I don't really have much other than like my lace weight hooks that I could go down to, and I'm just not used to using those. and they don't have ergonomic grips, and I'm just like, I don't know. So um, I'm a little, and so I already have two hook sizes in the pattern, so I'm a little afraid of adding another hook size, if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm really happy that you finished your blanket, Lydia. That's awesome and such a big deal because blankets are so intimidating to me. But I have a whole set where, like, when I first bought my first crochet hooks, I bought a kit and it had up to size 6, and then I think it goes down to like a 0.9 millimeter. Six, 7, 8. Right? Right now I'm using a 3.5 millimeter. It's not a furls, even though it kind of looks like one. It's something I bought off of Etsy. I thought it was handmade because, again, I always fall into the trap. If it's from Etsy, it must be handmade. This is machine made. It's a little bit more tapered than I'm used to. I'm used to kind of a hybrid hook, but it's fine. um, but it gets the job done. I feel like it doesn't grab all of the plies super well all the time. I wish it had kind of like a pointier tip so it could really get in there, but not like a full like inline, because those generally split my yarn pretty bad, especially in a cotton like this. So, and I'm using Lily Sugar and Cream for this. So the colors of the non-binary flag are black, purple, white, and yellow. And so for the darker portions, I'm going to be stuffing with a black polyester filling. I just have what I got from Michaels, and it's really amazing. I didn't even know they made polyester filling in black for a long time. This is from Michaels. This is the Loops and Threads Classic Black Fiber Fill. It's great for darker projects. You can also use scrap yarn or like scraps if you have some darker scraps. But this works really well if you don't want your polyfill to show through darker things. And then for the lighter colors, I'm gonna switch over to my white polyfill. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 6. So I was hoping that maybe someone here could help me out with something. So with a lot of cotton yarn, yarn is known to split pretty easily, right? And so one of the things I've noticed is that I use sugar and cream for a lot of my packers. Um, it split so easily, and I was hoping that either one, there was something I could do to make the yarn split less. I don't know if that's possible, especially because this is a wearable and it's on the skin, so I don't want to put something that might irritate someone's skin. These are like not fitting in my ears today. Um, so I want to make sure it would be comfortable and non-irritating to the skin. Um, or a cotton alternative. Now, here's my problem, because it needs to be affordable, because I try to offer affordable options for packers. That's really, really, really important for me. And then it also needs to come in a wide array of colors, including skin tones. And that is the hardest thing to find. Um, so if you know either of those options, you have some suggestions, that would be great. And then I have to untangle um, my yarn still. It's just sitting on my thing. But this is what it looks like, just kind of like loose. Pretty happy with it, but it's very heavy on the blue. But it might just be the particular pink that I'm working on. And then also, this particular one didn't have as much pink, and the pink that it does have is kind of like later on in the skein. Um, so, but I'm planning on kind of working it up on a knitting machine. Hopefully, my knitting machine doesn't have a conniption when I try to put it on the machine, because cotton doesn't always do well because of its slitty nature. Um, and the yarn will split on a knitting machine. So, any suggestions would be nice. I just I know that there's cotton that's better out there than this, pretty much any cotton. Um, but I just need it to be affordable and readily accessible if I need to re up certain colors. Now, one thing I was really happy with is, so I used the Hobie um, 8-4 cotton for my doll, and it didn't split like hardly at all. So this is definitely a higher quality cotton. The thing is, it takes a while to get to me, and the 8-8, which is their thicker version of this yarn. This is the rainbow, but they also have the Friends line, tons of colors, which is great. But the 8-8 is like a 3 weight, so it still doesn't get to the 4 weight that I need. I need a 4 weight for these packers, otherwise there will be a lot of polyfill showing. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And then, yeah. It's just like color options in cotton, really difficult. Especially skin tones, because a lot of people use cotton for like dishcloths and stuff like that, and like skin tones aren't really people's priority. And then if people do skin tones, oftentimes it's a lot thinner. I do need 100% cotton. It can have bamboo in it, but I've never used bamboo, and I've heard it splits even more. And also, it tends to be more expensive, which again, I run into the affordability option. Um, so but I can't do like an acrylic blend or anything. Because one time I bought like the amigurumi cotton that from ice yarns, and I bought like a sample of a couple colors. I didn't buy like packs, which was fortunate. And I think I might have bought it from Yarn Paradise when they offered like single yarn balls instead of like a whole pack. They like resell, or they used to resell ice yarns, but not in packs. But now I think they just sell the packs. Has to be skin soft. And the thing is, like, sugar and cream is not that soft. Like, let's be honest. But like, it's comfortable enough where you can wear it, and because it doesn't really move around a lot, it doesn't give a whole lot of rub. But I do want, it would be nice if it was softer, just for people who have very sensitive skin, or um, uh, like kind of sensory issues. Now the Hobie, the only skin tones that I was happy with um, uh, the Hobie 88, but it's still pretty thin. And I'm afraid of going down a hook size because I don't want the overall size to change. So I'm just gonna like, I don't know. But especially as I'm dyeing yarn and stuff like that, I would like a yarn that was like a better quality than just like the cheapest yarn I could find. Um, but once I get better, I think that'll make a difference. And also, hopefully, color fading over time is kept to a minimum. Um, yeah, Walmart is hard because they really push the peaches and cream, um, and it's basically the same as sugar and cream. But that's what I bought my cones of white cotton for dyeing. Um, So I don't know. I don't remember the name of the channel. It pops up on my YouTube feed every once in a while. And for the record, this is not me shit talking like this person at all. But they cover a lot of like yarn community drama. And I'm just like, one of the things that has happened time and time again that they talk about is like people talking about other people stealing their either like yarn dyeing option, or dyeing yarn, uh, like if they have like a hank that looks like this, another company will come out with a yarn that looks strikingly similar, um, or like a pattern that like gets like copied or something like that. And I'm just like, I get really nervous, like maybe the yarn dyeing community is like, what if people are like, "You're copying my design," and I'm like, "I'm literally just making a pride flag. Like, you didn't invent these colors." I don't know. Moment in time, is that like a yarn? I do like the KNC, um, from Joanne, um, cotton, but it's just not affordable. Um, I do also like the feel of the cotton yarn, the mainstays cotton from Walmart. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, I don't want to be like, hey, don't talk about yarn drama, because, like, I mean, like, if there's drama in the community, like, anyone's welcome to talk about it. But, like, I'm just like, it makes me really nervous that, like, someone's gonna be like, you copied my pattern. Hey, Winter, you copied my pattern, or like, you copied my yarn dyeing design, and I'm like, I'm not trying to copy anyone. Like, I just want to make yarn that I want to use, and if other people want to use it, great. If other people don't want to use it, fine. I'll just use it myself. But, like, yeah, exactly. And but like, if like when people like call people out on like Twitter or like Facebook or whatever, or YouTube, I'm just like, is this the most dramatic thing that has happened to you ever? Like, my problems are so much larger than like someone thinking that I like stole a pride flag colorway from them. And maybe one day I won't just dye pride flag colors, but like there are a lot of like amazing dyers out there, but there's no doubt that there's some overlap. But I don't. The show was amazing. How like A minor freak out, and then Mel. There were so many pyrotechnics. Like every other song had pyrotechnics, but they also did like controlled fireworks inside, and it's like this like dome arena, and like it was so loud that like it like rung my bell like many times, and they kept on doing it. And so like Mel left the show and was like, I can barely hear anymore. And Mel has like migraines and like noise sensitivity as well. I have noise sensitivity, but in a different way. um but like, yeah, I just was like, I felt terrible that I put my way through that. But like the show itself was really fun. The openers were okay. Jimmy Eat World was actually really fun, and then Fall Out Boy just murdered it. Um, and like, this is what I found really cool is like, so there's a lot of songs that they have in their discography that they don't play often because they weren't as popular, they're older, or they're kind of just like not as much in like the pump you up type of like vibe that oftentimes Fall Out Boy goes for. And not that they didn't play like their popular songs, they definitely did. But um, like I just like, but there were songs that like they played that they haven't played in years at a show. I was so excited. I When we were there, I looked up the set list, and like they had it at other shows, and I was so surprised at like the set list. It was so awesome. Like probably like 3 or 4 of my all-time favorite Fall Out Boy songs were played, and that never happens because a lot of them again weren't like super popular. A lot of people didn't know them, or like it just wasn't on their radar as like the best song in the album. For me, like they were awesome. So like just and like a lot of Fall Out Boy songs have like really long names, so like heads up. But like one of my favorite Fall Out Boy songs is Head First Slide into Cooperstown on a Bad Bet. It is such a good fucking song, and that actually was like a breakup song for me with a previous like partner-ish kind of. um, and like we both loved the song, and then when we broke up, it worked out really well because the song was about cheating. um and like that's what he did, so like it worked out. It just worked out to be like this. I couldn't listen to it for years. But then I just came back to it, and I was like, I fucking love this song, it's so good. So that song was played. What a Catch Donnie was played, which the lead singer, Patrick, wrote when the bassist, Pete, who has bipolar disorder, attempted uh, unaliving himself. Um, and so he wrote a song about like, about that. So What a Catch Donnie was played. Um, let's see. They played one of my favorites off their new album, which was Heaven, Iowa. And that is such a good song, but like not surprising that they played a song off of the newer album. And then there was one more where I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't. I was like, I couldn't believe that they were playing it. Let me see if I can. They didn't play the song that I walked down the aisle to. So I mean that is again one of my favorite Fall Out Boy songs, which is called Bishop's Knife Trick, and that was off of the album Mania. Uh, but I don't know if I've heard that song live or not because it did go to the Mania tour. I can't remember. And it was really interesting because uh, they like usually they play their popular songs. They play their songs off of the newer albums, um, and this one they played a lot of their like earlier songs, and then they played a lot of their newer songs. And there was a point in the section they're like, we should probably play something that's like in the middle of our discography. And let's see. If you ever have wanted to know what a band's gonna play, usually they play the same set list throughout the tour, and so you can go to setlist.fm and see what they played at like prior shows. Um, let's see. Uh, okay, so they played Disloyal Order of the Water Buffaloes, amazing song, and then they played um, they played Bang the Doldrums, which I do love. So there were so many songs that I was just like, yes. Um, and so you can always go and see what a band is expected to play, and like they might change it up. Depends on like sometimes they play different songs based on like location or something. But it was awesome. It was a fun show. Very very loud. Very very loud. I wouldn't suggest it to anyone with noise sensitivity in an enclosed space because it was just fucking deafening. And honestly, I like I said earlier, like there were kids that had to leave early. There were people who had to leave early because it was so loud, and I don't usually see that for. So they don't usually publish their set lists. They just kind of seem to play whatever they want. But if you go to see the setlist.fm, it's actually filled out by fans who will report what songs they played. Um, so that's what I usually go to if I want to see. And like I was shocked at like I said because they play songs they never play, and I was like into it. I can't tell where my decreases are. Okay, there it is. 4. Oh no, my stitch marker fell out. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, and we're gonna. My stitch marker fell out, so we're just gonna add that back in. I'm gonna do 2 rows with no increases or decreases. Hi, Too Old to Care. I love that name. That's such a good name. So thank you. I really appreciate that. So like I don't mind loud music. It was just the explosions were like it was just like a pop. Like a really loud pop, like a grenade going off next to you. It was so like "Ugh." Like even I was just like, even though I'm expecting pyrotechnics, I wasn't expecting fireworks slash grenades to go off. I try to find a picture of there was one point so like this album has like a dog like biting bubbles. They do weird shit. um uh but there was one point where like they had this like kind of like movable inflatable and like they just do kind of whatever they want, which is like kind of funny. um uh can I find it? um I don't quite know the breed of the dog. So like you'll have to let me know if you know dog breeds. So this is not it, but like I'll show you the dog and maybe you can tell me what. I'm like Rottweiler, I don't know. But uh this is such a long link. I'm gonna try to see if I can I don't know if I can shorten this. Okay. Let me see if I can. Okay. This is a shorter link, but you have to. Okay. So if you look at the link that I'm going to drop, so there's a bunch of inflatable dogs, right? But like if you look at the first picture they have like on their thing, not their cover photo, but I mean it's in the cover photo. But like the picture with the three dogs, one's the middle one's like a golden retriever, one's like a pug or something, or like English, some kind of bulldog, I don't know. But the one on the right, which I don't know the breed, so basically imagine just the head of this and imagine it being 20 feet tall and its mouth is able to move and sing along or like move along with the lyrics. Like it was, this is such like a follow up, I think. Um, so, so yeah, they did a bunch of weird things, which is I've come to expect from their shows, but it's still just like I feel like they're always upping the. Yeah, so the one on the right, yeah. Is that a bulldog? I don't know. Um, yeah, I thought French bulldogs were like small. This one's like a one of those more like aggressive. I put that in quotes because I don't believe that any dog is inherently um, aggressive. Uh, uh, but that gets like a reputation for being, aggressive or whatever. Um, uh, I'll show I'll show the cover of the album. So if you want to see kind of what they were going for, that's. But it was this giant inflatable, like a literally big, maybe like 20 feet is my estimate. Um, and I just like I was just like, this is such a move from them. Um, but yeah, my guess is like Rottweiler. I don't really know. I don't really know. But that's the cover of the photo, and then they had this big, giant, inflatable that was, I mean, it was so big. It was so big, and like at one point, like the faces crawled, like put like half of his body into the into the mouth of the dog. It was just like, this is such a move. This is so dumb. Okay, so I'm gonna do another round of no changes and stitches. So what is everyone working on? What's everyone doing? Um, Let me know, because I'm just trying to fulfill this order so I can get back to making stuff that I want to make. Okay, I canceled that, so I don't have to worry about that. Sorry about that. Um, so I was, just a heads up, like, so I was seeing two, oh, Doberman Pinscher, okay. No, I don't want to hide it. I just want to click the fucking link. What if I press this? Okay. I'll have to look. Okay, let me. Yes, this is definitely the dog. Good eye, Crystal. Yeah, yeah. And it was so cute. It was so detailed. It looked like, honestly, like they had like, um, like hot air balloons. It looked like a hot air balloon size like balloon, inflatable, and then they had it on like a couple hooks where they could swing it from side to side, so it was like moving with the music, and then like sometimes the mouth would move with the lyrics, so they had like mechanics in there too, and then they could just like pull open the mouth and like crawl inside. I like to crochet, but I'm certainly not an expert. Hey, none of us are. I don't consider any of us experts. Working on Tunisian knit stitch. Ooh, my first started a Lost Soul shawl. Love the Lost Soul shawl. I really like Fiber Spider's tutorial on the Lost shawl. If you like don't have it memorized, because I obviously don't, and I found it so easy to follow, and he's so good at instructions. And then the Granny Ripple Crescent shawl. Ooh, I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds awesome. Um, and yeah, they're so like random and off the wall. Let me look at this Granny Ripple Crescent shawl. Granny Ripple Crescent. I was like, how do I spell crescent? Croissant? Okay, looking this up. Wow, that is truly stunning. And it looks like Fiber Spider did a tutorial on this as well. Love him. Just so talented. Um, wow, that's really beautiful. I love it. That's gorgeous. What colors or colorways did you use on that? Um, yeah, the dog prop, yeah. And then I really want to learn how to Tunisian crochet. I even found this at a thrift store. It's what size is it? A K 5 point, no, 6.5 millimeter. Um, but I tried to do like entrelac with one of my like clovers, I think, and just like not being able to have like a thicker grip on it really hurt my hands, which is kind of disappointing because I wanted to try something new. And I just was like really sad because I wanted to try something new, and I I knit for at the beginning, and then I moved to crochet, but I thought this is kind of like a nice like um, combination of them, but like just like the fact that I need like ergonomic handles because my wrist pain is so bad, just doing like this much of like a bag handle with Tunisian crochet like interlac was so painful. I was like, this is not for me. And I did it on a clover, which has like some kind of like wrist or like hand grip, and I was just like, no. But anyone who can do it, I give mad props to. Obviously, I adore Tony Lipsy, who we all know. Stop it. Um, uh, who is the queen of unforgettable, whimsical for the and Pound of Love. Great. Pound of Love, so beautiful, gorgeous. I hate using it. It's one of my least favorite yarns to use. I know some people swear by it. I started with Caron 1 pounds, and for some reason, the um I'm gonna show this comment so I can find this yarn. Red Heart, unforgettable, and then let me. Well, it was whimsical, right? Okay, so it's showing me a bunch of different yarn. I'm having a really hard time. Oh, okay. I think. Okay, let me try to find it. Okay. Wow, that is a truly beautiful yarn. That color combo, I don't know if I would ever looked at that and been like, well, I have to have it, but I bet it works up gorgeous, especially with the ripple. Excellent. Do you like using the unforgettable yarn? Sometimes when I look at it, I'm like, it's so pretty, but like it just gives me the vibe that it would be really hard to frog or work with. So let me know if I gotta do that. I call Pound of Love Pound of Hate. I didn't come up with that. Actually, Crystal, I feel like maybe you said it. I don't remember, but someone called it Pound of Hate, and ever since then, I'm like, that's it. That's it for me. Yeah, Unforgettable is really soft. It feels more like Simply Soft. Very interesting, because does it have the same like slip as uh, Simply Soft? Because I know Simply Soft is very slippery. Echo Unforgettable. It's swampy. Ooh, you speak of all language. Okay, let's see. So what color? Echo. It both came out, I think, Pound of Hate. Okay. I was like, I don't want to deny anyone the credit that they deserve in. Um, Okay, let's see. Is this the right? No, this is Woodlands. Okay, Walmart doesn't have Echo in stock. It's so hard to find stuff on Google Images sometimes. Okay, maybe Michael's will have more options. I'm just looking at my phone, on my computer, because I know that like I could probably find a lot easier on my phone, but I kind of hate being on my phone when it comes to. Okay, Michael's is just showing me one color, which I find very rude, but not beautiful colors, but not a great frog experience. See, that's kind of what I worried about. Same with one of the other Michael's yarns. I forget, but it just looks so freaking hard to frog. Okay. Um, Red heart. Okay, so the color I'm looking for is Echo. I hate all these like secondary sellers on like websites. Just show me what the fucking um like just show me what the store has. Woodlands is very pretty. Um oh, I see Echo. Ooh. It's the boutique unforgettable. Okay, wonder what that's about. Let's see, it worked. Or it's not worked out, but ooh, yes. Oh my gosh, those are like my favorite colors. Ooh, it is very swampy, but it's also like very Halloweeny, and I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Pound of Love isn't my favorite, but I crochet on a budget. I also crochet on a budget. I really like. I've actually really just moved. Also, I find it really hard to store big balls of yarn like that. Like I have a whole crate of like 1 pounds. They're so big. So I moved to Big Twist Value, and that's always on sale at Joann. And I like working with it. I too am financially impaired. Uh, Someone on Etsy is selling 8 balls for $39. I'm like, what the hell? Yes, I actually found some dupes for certain colors of the. I believe that they're dupes. Um, they look like dupes. I don't know if they work up like dupes, but Ice Yarns does have some restocks on like the rainbow, especially for Picasso, because I love Picasso yarn. Not fun to frog, but just looks gorgeous. Also, they always have they usually restock the light rainbow first, which looks prettier in pictures, but I actually really like the darker rainbow because the colors are so vibrant. Um, but that one doesn't get restocked as much because I just don't think that people dig it as much. But I'm gonna look at my save for later. There's some really weird stuff in my cart. Let's see. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to find this dupe yarn that I found because it's really like super excited. And this is when we didn't know if Picasso was ever coming back or. Um, Show me my save for later, you little bitch. Okay, sorry. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to my computer. I promise I will find it eventually, hopefully. I promise, hopefully. Always goes well together. We are working on it. I have some weird shit. I have like literally like a plushie that's like looks like bread. Okay, so this is the Venmo uh, uh, colorful, self-striping, multicolor, fuzzy with subtle sheen, 56 polyester, 44 acrylic, which my Picasso's over there, but it's looks like 4 balls for $20. So I don't know if that's a good deal. Yeah, they're definitely taking advantage of the fact that like it's not being sold anymore. So that is one that has some color options that are very similar to Picasso, and it looks a lot like Picasso to me. Um, but yeah, like they have a rainbow. Like the rainbow to me looks exactly like the rainbow from Ice Yarn. Um, they definitely have different color options, which are very gorgeous. But to me, it definitely gives me Picasso vibes. So if anyone ever tries this, please let me know, because it just is very intriguing to me. But I know that's still expensive, especially for the size balls that you get, because they're about 50-gram balls. Yeah, 50-gram, 125 yards. Please stop. Just I'm not going to that therapist anymore. So as I was trying to say before, so I was going to two therapists, one for neurodivergence specifically, and one for the rest of my mental illnesses, right? And like now, like neurodivergence is like now kind of in the classification of like people usually when they talk about neurodivergence, they're talking about autism spectrum disorder or they're talking about ADHD, and I have ADHD. So just kind of figure out how to move past like paralysis and like choices and stuff like that. But because my mental health has been so bad and like ADHD is kind of the lesser of all the evils, I stopped seeing my ADHD therapist temporarily. I really like him. He's really nice. But but I was like, I might need to like shift so that I'm seeing my other therapist 2 times a week and not because I've seen both of them once a week, and now I'm like, yeah, I gotta focus on like these bigger fish to fry. So, but I have it in my calendar that I see him every what day? I know it looks so much like Picasso, right? When I found it, I was like, I gotta have it. Again, this is at a time when like people there was no Picasso on the iTunes website and or any of their resellers. And then people who had been hoarding it were like selling it for crazy amounts, like $39. Which honestly, like it's actually pretty equivalent because like it's $20 for 4 balls from the place that I shared with you, or you can get 8 balls for $40. So it's kind of six one way, half a dozen another. But um, like obviously buying from Ice Yarn is yarns is the way to go. But yeah, I usually see him every Wednesday. But now I'm gonna see my other therapist Mondays and Thursdays. So I hope it works up like Picasso because Picasso is such a unique type of yarn that like it's it's so it's fun to work with, a bitch, a frog, but it's just so beautiful. I mean, the way that you can make like stained glass effect type things with it is just like it's so cool. And I really like the color options that they have, like that green one. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. But that rainbow looks exactly to me like the light rainbow that they have for Picasso. They don't have a darker rainbow option, which again is my favorite, but you know. Let me see what they have on the iChurn website. Once again, damn, about 24. Rainbow Picasso. Honestly, I didn't like working with it. I sent 16 bucks. Yeah. And it's not for everybody. I understand that. It's a fun yarn, but it's not for everyone. Right? Organization. I can't find anything. Yes, I spent a lot of time while Mel was on our work trip organizing my yarn. Uh, Most of it's good. I have some yarn that was gifted from a friend, and I don't really like most of it. So I'm trying to sell some of that, and I put it on uh, like a like a spring rummage, spring cleaning sale. So if any of you are interested in looking at some yarn, maybe, people are asking how you're hearing soon. Okay. Mel said a little bit better than it was last night. Yeah, I lose yarn all the time. I forget that I bought yarn and I buy it again, and then I'm like, now I have all this yarn that I didn't need. So yeah, it got better when I did some organization, but I have some yarn that I'm just like, nah, I don't want this. Like I don't like it's very sweet to get free yarn and like um and I'm gonna share the link with you if you're on Facebook. Um, it's about to end, so you have a couple more days if you want to list anything, whether it be pre-made or it be yarn that you want to sell. So this is the link to the event. They do have rules about posting. You need to make sure you put your name. Keychain things. Oh my god, keychain things. The back of safety eyes. The safety eyes themselves. Always, I just lose. So I just have a section now in my yarn thing for like um, I lose that shit all the time. Okay, so here's the event, and then if you want to see what I'm selling, um, I believe. Can you just like search for my name? I don't know. I haven't bumped it in a while, so let me try to do that. Ooh, there's some pretty roving yarn. It's K&C. Oh, it's $10. $1.50 a ball. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this picture. I love roving yarn. It makes me cheat. The Imkins book lists 2 places for safety eyes that are really cool. Yeah, the Imkins book is really cool looking. I just got the Cryptids book so for Christmas, and I haven't made anything out of it. Oh, I love roving style yarn. I live for it. But I do get to that point where I'm like, what do I do? What do I do with it? Because it's so special to me um, that I sometimes don't use it. But this roving is like very swampy. And I do like the K&C yarn a lot, but it's just always so expensive. Um, some chain. People are literally selling all kinds of things, books. This is a great place if you are gonna buy. Oh my gosh, are these teeth? Oh, they're shells. Less interested now. I thought they were teeth. So you know you are a child of a dentist. There's like books, all kinds of stuff. So this might be a good place to get like affordable options if you are financially impaired, like a lot of us are. Also, I listed prices where I think I did like 25% off, or maybe 30. Like if you bought like multiple, like anything I could find a price for, because I So it's like, don't post links, but how are people going to know where on the original price? Okay. So I have two hanks of two superwash sport weight that's in like a mustard color, but let's see. I'll tell you what date I posted it so that you can, if you go to that, you can see what I'm selling. Also, if you're like on my thing, I will cut you like a killer deal. I don't care. I just want to get rid of it because I'm not going to use this yarn. Okay, so I posted on March 9th. Then I have some hanks of I have a lace weight and I have a fingering weight, two black, two cream colored from Nitpicks. Again, I posted this on the 9th. I'm going to follow that as well. But yeah, if you want this yarn, I will cut you a better deal than I posted on here. This was just like yeah, I'll cut you a killer deal. I do not care. Please just take it away from me. Because you know it's yarn, and it was so nice to be gifted yarn. I'm always going to be grateful for gifted yarn, but I don't have room for it, and I don't use this style of yarn. I got it from a knitter, so she uses an X at that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just getting a black screen for. Yeah, so the thing is, it's an event, so I don't know. You might have to like, oh, you won the Imkins book. Okay, cool. Yeah, but I think you have to uh, accept like that you're gonna attend the event because it's based off of a page, but I don't know if you have to be a part of that page. If that's the case, I do apologize. There's a really beautiful yarn. It only has one hank, but it's kind of like the texture of Picasso, but it's Illimani Amelie yarn, 46 mulberry silk, 40 baby alpaca, 4% merino, 164 yards, chain spun. All of this is like fancy yarn that I would never in a million freaking years by myself. So I like, please, please take this yarn off my hands because I have no idea what to do with it. One thing is that I do have pets. I have a dog and a cat. So if you are allergic, I would, be mindful of that. Like, they haven't gotten into this yarn, but it just gets everywhere. And then I have 22 skeins of Mighty Stitch super bulky yarn from Nitpicks. And I have two colors. I have a green, like a lime green, and then a raspberry color, both very gorgeous. I cut you a deal if you buy all 22, or you can buy 11 of each color, whatever you want. I just need to get rid of this yarn, please. Like, I'm borderline willing to give it away if you just pay shipping, but if you could give me like anything else other than that, that's a pro. Okay, so let's see. How many listings do I have? One, two, three, four, five. Okay, so I have five that were posted on March 9th on the Facebook event. So if you want to check out those yarns, please let me know, okay? Because I don't want that. I mean, like, it'd be cool, but, like, I don't use yarn like that. I use cheap yarn, because then it's low stakes if I fuck it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool, awesome. Ugh, the yarn split. Yeah. And so like I said, the event does end. So they do require when you take a picture of whatever you're selling that you put a piece of paper or something like written. It can't be like typed out on your phone. Of like your Facebook name and the date that you're posting it. Um, so like read the rules because like they will just delete your post and they won't let you share. Um, but there's a lot of cool things. I haven't sold anything thus far, but I'm hoping someone takes pity on me. 4, 5. Some 3-weight, 60% silk. Ooh, 30% cashmere and 10% acrylic. Good shit. Oh, I've never seen that on it, but I really wanted to feel something other than basic acrylic. Absolutely. Yeah. I totally understand. It's a total different like sensory experience than using like basic yarn. I get it. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 rounds. I'm gonna finish this color and then I'll probably take a break. Silk is a great summer yarn. I've never used silk, and like so the yarn that they had at Joann that was like recycled silk, because like obviously there's a difference between like whatever, like I think it's called like scrap silk and like better quality silk yarn, but Darn Good Yarns did like those small cakes of silk yarn, and I was like, this feels like garbage. I thought silk would be soft, but I found out that that wasn't necessarily the silk that I thought in my brain. So, okay, so this might be a stupid question. So, before I say it, I want to preface that I know that silk can be created naturally with like silkworms and things like that. But a lot of times, um, like can silk be um, like man-made? And if so, um, like is it considered still like a natural fiber? Yeah, and you said it was so soft, and that's why I was like, like I gotta try some of this silk yarn, but I just haven't, money. I haven't money. Yeah, it looked gorgeous. For those of you who don't know, Crystal makes the most beautiful hand spun yarn that probably has ever existed. So if you are looking for some spun yarn made by very skilled hands with someone who has a great eye for color, highly recommend. All yarn doesn't come from Walmart. Yes. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have other places. Like, I have a Joann and a Michaels and technically a Hobby Lobby, but I don't shop there. Um, and but Joann always has good deals, so I usually compare if it's available at Walmart and Joann, to see what has the better price. You don't sell your yarn? Oh, I think you might have told me that, but I don't think I remember. I mean, if you wanted to, you could, but I understand. Trying to make me broke. Yes, I understand that. Yeah, I totally understand. Queen's Crafts by Bridget Spencer, and also she's very talented. Ooh, I will have to check her out. That's super cool. I think, like, honestly, every time, like, Crystal posts a lot of her, like, spinning content, and I'm like drooling. I'm like, should I just, like, take the plunge and put, like, $600 into just starting to spin yarn? And then I'm like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I should not do that because I don't have a good eye for color. Dawn's Loving Hands Creations, crazy talent that dyes yarn. This amazing clay work. That's so cool. Um, yeah, Clay and I, we don't talk anymore because I wanted to do some like earrings or stuff for Pride, and I just like I don't get how people do it so effortlessly. It looks like shit, and it's got fingerprints all in it, and it's just like I've seen techniques on how to get fingerprints out, and it just makes everything look worse. And I'm just like, why? Why? Bridget's like, okay, we'll definitely check her out. Yeah, so many amazing dyers, and like especially as I'm starting to dye my own yarn. Granted, I'm dyeing cotton, which a lot of people don't like to do because there's just like not a great market for it. But because I wanted to offer like wearable yarn, and like cotton is so much more affordable. Dawn errands, okay, definitely, definitely, definitely. I'm going to check everybody in the world out. But learning how to dye has been such a cool, um, Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. Ooh, fun. I bet you can get some really cool color combinations. There's so many people. So yeah, I've looked at a drop spindle, but my attention span is like that. So like I, as much as I want it, and I've almost bought a drop spindle so many times, it is in my save for later multiple times on Amazon. Um, but I just don't have the patience. I don't have that eye for like color combinations. And so I think I would create a lot of like tonal stuff, which has its place and it's great. But I don't think like the really eye catching like color combinations. I just don't think that I could. I just don't have an eye for it. I can't even buy this stuff in store because I'm like, oh, I have no idea how to use this. But I have looked at drop spindles. And then and also I don't use a lot of wool, so it's like also like I would make this yarn. Um, I would buy this yarn and then I would never use it, but I would be too self conscious to sell it, and so I would be like, nah, I don't know. But right now I'm trying to do the cotton dyeing in Pride colorways, so it's not so much about like the like making up color combinations that would look amazing. It's more so just like um uh it's more just like making uh, them like look good. Yeah, especially with that yarn drama channel that I talked about earlier, I just feel like there's so much like I don't want to ever be accused of like stealing someone else's stuff, with the pride flags, it's like I didn't steal the pride color flag or pride flag colors and like from you because you didn't create this color combination. So it's a little bit easier and less intimidating to get into something that's like very clearly like defined and like isn't owned by anyone who makes yarn that color. Because like people get so nasty on the internet, and I just don't really play that game. I've got enough drama in my own life. I don't want to add drama by them being like, "You copied me," because it's just not my style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's a channel, and I don't remember the name, and even if I did, I wouldn't want to like, you know, talk about it extensively. But like, there is a channel whose primary purpose is um, like pointing out like drama that happens within the yarn community. A lot of it's like copying styles or yarn colorways if they die or anything like that. I think I'm having internet connectivity issues. Rainbow. It says it's streaming, so I don't really know what's happening. Can you all hear me? It says it's working. I don't. What happened? Okay, no, it's gone. I don't know. But yeah, there's someone who like kind of like points out a lot of the drama in like the yarn community. Again, most of it's about copying and like designs and shit. And like I just like don't want to end up on that channel. And it's also made me very nervous to design and to also because I'm like, what if someone thinks I stole their design or something like that? Um, I don't want to be like that person. So it just makes me pretty nervous to like put stuff out there. If you didn't see, I posted my TikTok link, which I post a lot about mental health and stuff like that below. I also, well, it was my link, it was just my name. Uh, I posted my Etsy. I sell patterns and finished objects. And then I also have 2 posts on Ribblr now, thanks to Winter inspiring me because I like Etsy. I just don't make any money, and people aren't always looking for patterns on there. And the patterns that I make aren't like conventionally. Uh, yeah, exactly. I'm just like, it's not that deep. If someone makes something similar to what you make, like whatever, and a lot of these like designs that people copy, like they're so basic. Like one of them I saw was like someone who made like four not triangles, rectangles, made it like sewed it up, made it into a sweater. Sleeves 1 triangle, and then front 1 triangle. Why do I keep on saying triangle? Rectangle. Um, and like they're like then another place made a similar but not exactly the same um, sweater, and like they were like this person was just like, oh, they're copying me. It's like you did like a very simple like it was like granny squares or something, or granny stitch. Like granny stitch make rectangles. Like you no one like no one on YouTube right now can be credited for making something like that. Like, right? Yeah. And it's like if I like do something, people are like, you copied my thing. I'm like, I honestly don't even know who you are. but like it just makes me nervous. People make me nervous. Okay, let me check my stitch count. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Drama. Yes. Okay. I don't care. I don't like a channel. I just don't watch. Yeah. Exactly. Hey, China, welcome in. Pretty easy to stay in your own lane. I don't understand people for a long damn time, and I got time for drama. Exactly. It's like, why? Why are we like, oh, who cares? Like, I mean, I understand if you are like a full time pattern maker and like some of your more intricate designs get like stolen. You're allowed to be like annoyed with that for sure, but like people get like real up in arms, and I'm just like, come on, like you didn't invent this style, and like you know knitting has been around for so long, and crochet has been around for so long, and this is the hill you choose to die on. And then people are sending like death threats and stuff. I'm like, it's yarn, chill out. But no one listens to me anyways. So this is the scrotum portion of the non-binary uh, uh, the non-binary packer that I'm making. I have the white and the yellow to do, which will be primarily on the shaft. Um, and I, it took me a while to decide how I wanted to do the striping situation for this because um, I didn't know how it would look if the colors were reversed and like what is the top, what is the bottom of the flag. But for me, because yellow is part and white are part of the non-binary flag, I I had some like mental hang-ups about putting them in the scrotum portion because this part sits against the body, and for some reason I mentally am like, don't put white or yellow in a part that will sit against the body because it will like it has this like gross connotation for me for like getting like bodily fluids on it or like stuff like that. I don't know, it's weird, but I decided to do it like this. I really like the way it looks. It's so cute when it's worked out. But yeah, so this is half of it, and then I'm going to make a 5 inch because that's what was requested. um, and hopefully we can uh, get this person the packer of their dreams, because making people happy with my makes is absolutely the best thing in the whole wide world. But I'm going to take a break. My voice is very tired from screaming last night at the concert. So I hope you enjoyed just hanging out and talking. Maybe I'll be on later. Maybe I won't. Who knows? But I appreciate your support. As always, you all are amazing. And I really hope that you have a great day or night, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.